And we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci fi and fantasy fans. It's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just three nerdy veterans geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king, the sky is the limit, and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. So, without further ado, I wanted to take a moment to give everybody a quick update on what was going on with the podcast, just so there was nobody wondering. So we started cross posting finally after talking about it for over a year to other alt tech platforms. So we started a BitChute account, got all the way up to season one, episode 4, and realized I couldn't upload episode 5, our fantastic interview with Doc Spears about his Black Ops, Dark Ops troops in the Galaxy's Edge universe because it was too long. And that's when I realized the BitChute, unless you pay for it, will not let us do long form content. So I don't know if the traffic is warranting paying for a subscription to get the larger price. At some point in time, as we grow, we might decide to invest in that, but we're not there yet. So as it sits, it will wallow at 4 episodes. If you're a BitChute user, I apologize. It's kind of clunky on the back end when I'm uploading as well, but it is there. And we're working on it. We also started a Rumble account. I have spent hours and hours and hours moving episodes over. We are up to, I think, episode 47 on our Rumble account from season one. And season one was episode 0 through 102. So at about that point, I realized, hey, you can actually mirror the accounts where it automatically does that. And so I looked into it, talked to tech support over at Rumble. They were fantastic. I have that in the process. It can take a long time because I don't know what it's doing on the back end. They say it could take days and weeks, but it's already started in the pending file, episodes 264, which was the most recent one, all the way back to, I think, 206. I don't know. There's a lot of them. But so I'm working on that. Since it's going to be mirroring those, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit myself to uploading one a day while I wait for it to catch up. Because I had been doing like 10 a day to get us to this point. So when you notice a slowdown, if you're one of our new BitChute listeners, it's because I'm going to let the back end stuff do its job, but I don't want the account to go fallow. So I will do an episode a day. I think that's a reasonable compromise while I wait for the process to happen on the back end. Um, YouTube is still going to be available. We're still going to be uploading to YouTube, just like everywhere else. But I know there's decent number of people that are looking for other platform opportunities as well. So we're trying to give you that. All of our podcast links, so on the audio only side, that will all stay the same. So that shouldn't change for you. The only ones that'll notice something new is if you're looking for a new video platform. So we're on Rumble now as well. We will update our Linktree account with the Rumble and the BitChute address as soon as we remember. Okay, as soon as I remember the passwords, I should have I should have written them down, but alas, I did not. Horatio, I did not. And then we will be pivoting. I think we've talked about it some with episodes that are slowly trickling in. But Nick and I have been talking, and we realized that the discussion groups tend to get more engagement from you, the listener. I can see the numbers in real time, so we're going to be doing more of those, which should be fun. A lot of it's going to be just ad hoc. We pick a topic, we invite anybody that wants to show up as far as guests. And if they show up, we have it. And if not, Nick and I will talk. And when Doc's done doing her last minute Dragon Con thing, because she is done moving. Well, I mean, are you ever really done moving in? I still have boxes a decade later that I'll get to eventually. Having said that, but she is deep in the thick of the Dragon Award stuff. She always takes the summers off. This is not new. It's been that way all 5 years I've podcasted with her. So somebody asked if she was fired. No, I'll never fire her. She'll have to quit first, and then I won't give her her back pay, and she definitely won't get her workers' comp or her unemployment if she quits, because I'm just that kind of overlord, people. And clearly I'm the boss, so that would make me the overlord. And if Doc's listening and laughing, shut up. I hear you. Um, because we're pivoting towards that, our fireside chat episodes will no longer be tagged fireside chat, colon topic. We're just going to do episode, 265, and instead of fireside chat aliens, we're just going to say episode 265, all about them aliens or something, because it's going to be more the norm, and throwing fireside chat into everything is just going to get clunky. It will still go into the fireside chat playlist on YouTube because that's an option. On Rumble, they don't really do that, but it will be tagged as a hashtag in the show notes that you see as well. So it just won't be reflected in the title. And as part of that, I use what is called Creative Commons art, which means it's basically open for everybody without violating intellectual property for the fireside chat. But after talking with Nick in the back end, he's going to actually make fireside chat logo for us, one for our fantasy topics and one for our sci-fi, and maybe a spooky one for when we talk horror and such. Do you think he's going to let me negotiate a lower fee on account of he works for us too? Huh. Could I call it a product of his work, like get it for free? We will see, people. It's gonna be a nail biter, but I'm gonna see if I can get a good price from Nick. But we're gonna be looking for new art that's less dark and gloomy. So that should be fun coming in. And then now that we've done the updates, because I'm trying to keep this quick, is there anything you as listeners want more of? So I've seen this push that the social medias are trying to encourage everyone to do short form content. So like the 2 to 3 minute TikTok, YouTube short kind of stuff. If that's kind of what you want, I mean, we could provide some of those as well. I tend to think they make people's attention spans a lot shorter. So I prefer a good long discussion over a 5-minute snippet. But if it's something you'd like more of, we could find some content that works for that. Maybe what did I just read in 3 minutes or less? That sort of thing. But I'm not going to waste my time on it if you, dear listener, don't want it. So reach out. The Facebook group is there. The podcast email is there. So just reach out, hit us up, tell us what you're thinking. And then a final update. After talking this over, we realized our question format was kind of stifling. So we had a template we used and we kind of stuck with it religiously, partly because with my head injury, it was just a little more difficult. But Nick and I talked and we came up with a solution. So, and Doc likes this one. So what we're going to be doing is the introduction is going to be the same. The first quarter of the episode is going to be getting to know them as a nerd, then getting to know them as a creative for the second quarter. Then we'll play the commercial. And then the last half of the interview will be about the product, the book, video game or RPG, whatever. But it's going to be more free flowing. I still have those questions on hand if we get stuck. But I think like trying to artificially peg them the creatives into that was stifling their attempt to explain their creation. So we're going to try to have that be a little more free flowing. So it might get ugly before it gets better. You are talking to someone whose head has been rattled by way too many explosives, but we're going to give that a shot and see what happens. And because we are the Blasters and Blades podcast, I couldn't let you go without reminding you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right products. So do your part, people. Seriously, it matters. It matters to the algorithms to help them, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, etc. It helps them say, "Oh, people like this. Let me, recommend it even more," and that helps the authors you like. And if you don't like it, that's fine too. But try to be productive with it. It's not, "Oh, this sucks." It's like, "Oh, I didn't like it. It's too much cussing," or "I didn't like it because X, Y, or Z." That's for you, Aussie listeners. Z for the rest of you. But I think the creative reviews matter. We even had a whole fireside chat about this in season 2 where we talked about book reviews, and I think it's worth reminding you to do your part on those. And with that being said, I'm going to remind you, dear listener, how you can find us. We are over on Twitter at twitter.com/SF_fantasy_show. Again, twitter.com/SF_fantasy_show, Sierra Foxtrot_fantasy_show. You can email us at blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook group where all of the shenanigans happen at facebook.com/groups/Blasters and Blades Podcast. Again, /groups/Blasters and Blades Podcast. We do have a Facebook page. I am not the admin. That would be Doc. So I don't know what's going to happen on the back end to get that a dedicated URL, but it does exist. And I share all of our episodes. I share book reviews I find. I share the things over there. So, it's worth following. We have our website over at anchor.fm/blasters tech and tech blades. Again, anchor.fm/blasters-and-blades, where you can support the show for as little as 99 cents a month. You can help keep the lights on, or you could support the show more directly at buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley. Be sure to put in the comment section that it is for the podcast, and I promise I will keep my co-hosts, Doc Cisca and Nick Garber, duly caffeinated. They will drink until they can see, sound, and hear colors. They will drink their coffee until their liver explodes, people. And if you noticed I was speaking fast today, I apologize. I am hyped up on caffeine myself as I begin some work done, and I apologize. You could always listen to this in a slow mode. Now you know why they called me Motor Mouth as a kid. With that being said, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For Nick Garber and Doc Cisca, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters and Blades podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time where we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. And we're out, people. End recording.